We're going to be talking a little bit about the lab rotation, as you guys heard me say earlier. And by the way, I'm Cassandra Corbin Thaddeus with Redbird, and wanted to, again, talk a little bit about lab rotation. And some of you may have heard a little bit about this model, as I mentioned earlier, which has traditionally been defined as students moving from their classroom into a lab where the computers are actually housed. In your case, which is amazing that you guys, your students will have one-to-one devices, and so your devices are already going to be in the classroom. Okay, so we're going to practice actually what you're going to experience. So right now, everybody's laptop is up, so I'd like for everybody to close their laptops. Just close down the screens. So everybody's screen should be down. So in the lab rotation, as you all will experience it in your classrooms, again, your students all have laptops, and so it's going to be really, really important that as you're doing your direct instruction, just like I'm doing right now, your traditional, that their laptops are closed. Otherwise, they're going to have a tendency
they'll be
distracted and want to play, right? So that's something to really kind of keep in mind as you're thinking about your lesson planning, really thinking about your strategies and how you're going to keep the students focused and engaged in your direct instruction, okay? So just real quickly about the goals for today. Just two quick goals. One is the lab definition, and then I'm going to hear some conversation from you all about, maybe some ideas that you might have about how you want to use this lab rotation. Tiffany is here too, and she may also have some ideas and some suggestions in terms of how they've used the lab rotation, okay? And then there are a couple of digital apps and tools. One that you heard about yesterday. I don't know that many people got a chance to use, but they're real simple tools that will be really good to use in your lab rotation. There are lots, of course, but we're just going to introduce you to a couple. Two that you can really go back and start using right away. Okay, so we're going to give you some ideas about how to use that. Any questions about the goals first? No. Ready to go? Okay. And this is what you guys have been hearing from starting on Friday. We start talking about teacher-centered instruction, which is a traditional classroom where communication flows really from the teacher to the student. This is traditional, right? I'm up here, you're out there, consuming the information. And then, so this is how typically a traditional classroom looks. And our goal, of course, as we go through the remainder of the week and where you all are moving, transitioning to, is really going toward more student-centered classrooms, where the communication is now flowing from student to student, from student to teacher, teacher to student, so it's ongoing, right? Again, so the lab rotation that we're trying to get to will be from the direct instruction to where all your laptops are up, and then, laptops are down, back to direct instruction. Okay, so I'm going to go back through that just one more time. Okay, so again, direct instruction, and then at that time you can have the students put their laptops up when you're ready for them in the instruction. Does that make sense? Yes. And then there's a time where you're going to have them switch. Everybody's laptop's down, I'm talking now, then you go back through, okay? So again, there's still communication, as we were saying, student-centered communication. We want to make sure that that's happening, but you have to have those strategies in place so students really know when they should engage with their laptop and when they should be engaging with you directly, okay? Tiffany, you want to add anything to the rotation before we?
Just that because we also have one-on-one devices at our school, and so when we think of lab rotation, we don't think of the lab as a destination. The lab is when all the computers are in use, and the teacher is not at the front of the class. The teacher is circulating the room, and the students are all using digital content. So as we go through examples, I'll share specific classes and how that looks, but in terms of definition, that's where I orient my mind.
Yeah, I wanted to share something as well. What we're trying to do is that even in the rotation in which we have direct instruction, and I know that most of you already are doing this, but we want to keep lecture to the minimum. So we want to add interaction to that direct instruction portion, that you're always assessing, that you're always engaging students, that you're going to do a little bit of storytelling, which is great, but also get them to participate. And I know that most of you are already doing this, but we just have to say it just to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
Right, because when we go from lab use and lab mode where everybody's using their devices, we do go into direct instruction sometimes, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes we go from lab use to project-based learning, and then back into lab. So the other mode of instruction can be whatever it is to balance out the digital experience.
Are there questions about that? And I think one other thing too, to keep in mind that in some cases the students may not be set up this way. They could be set up in groups with their devices as well. So you know, you guys have a lot of flexibility in how to think about this as we go through. Okay. Does anybody have anything right now that's kind of burning in their minds about how would I do this? I'm having some questions about what this might look like. Anything burning yet? Okay. All right, so as Jaime said, again, the whole goal of this is really to kind of keep the direct instruction at a minimum. And so we're actually right now going to go into some tools that you can use as you're thinking about this lab rotation, okay? So does anybody remember yesterday hearing about today's meet? Remember Catlin brought that up? Okay. So today's meet is a tool that is very flexible, very, very easy to use. And you can use it as a discussion tool, or what she used it for yesterday was called the back channel. How many people in here use a video as a part of your instruction sometimes? Okay. How many times have you all participated in like a workshop like this, or you're watching a video and then you have questions come up just as you're like listening to somebody, right? So that's called the back channel. And so one of the goals of today's meet is so that as you're, like say for instance, your students are watching a video, or your students are even listening to you lecture, and they may have some questions. So instead of like, I got a question, and interrupting, or during a video, there's a lot of chatter, they can just note their questions in today's meet, okay? And I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So first of all, the purposes of today's meet are these things here. And as you heard yesterday, I forget exactly where this conversation came up, but there are students who do not like to talk, or are kind of shy and may not ask questions. So this is definitely a tool that will allow those students to have a voice. Then there are those students, do you have those students that like have questions all the time? Yes. Want to talk all the time? Those students can talk as much as they like on this tool that I'm going to show you guys. So they can ask all the questions that they want and comments however you structure it, and so it's not disruptive, but everybody is able to be heard, okay? And then again, gauging the interest. You can use it as a way to like find out, was this interesting? Did you have additional questions? What else would you like to see? When you have those types of questions, this tool will also help you do that with your students. And then lastly, we heard about flipped classrooms. This is kind of a way to use that too, right? So what happens is, let's say we start a conversation here, and your students, like, you know how you leave and you're like, oh, I had that question. There's one more thing I wanted to know. Well, you can keep this open for as long as you want. Like you can say, I'll keep this conversation open for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then students, if they go home and they're like, I have this question, you can just go right back into today's meet, and because it's called a classroom, and you'll be able to label that classroom. And they can go right in there and then add their question or their comment that they forgot, while you were having the conversation, okay? Questions about that? Yes?
Do you answer if questions are not taken during class time? Can you answer on today's meet as well?
You can, yeah. Yep, you can answer. It's like a chat room. It's kind of like a chat room. Yep, and so you can answer right on the...
Or you can bring it into the next class.
Or you can, and that's a great way to do it. Bring it right back into the class so they know that you're, like we were talking yesterday, you're reading, what they're writing, and you're actually going to bring it back into another activity or back into the instruction. Yes?
So what is suggested is that you set up one for each group that you have?
Yes, so you should set up, if you
Even
have
though
a,
you may be discussing the same topic, one for each class? For each group.
oh, can repeat your question one more time. I'll repeat it for you.
So the suggestion is to set up a today's meet, one for each group. Or if you're discussing the same topic in the 4 groups, do we set one for the 4 groups?
Gotcha.
Or can that be both options there?
Right. So the question is, should we set up a today's meet for one for each group, meaning classrooms? Is that right? All right. Or can we, if we have the same topic, can we set up one today's meet for all of the classes? And it really depends on your objective and your goal. So if your goal is that you want all the students to kind of get a sense of what other students are thinking, then you can set up a classroom entitled whatever the topic is, and all the students can go into that classroom, and then you can see all their comments. Or if it's just one classroom, you just want those students. So it just really kind of depends on how you want to set it up. But it's very flexible.
So you can set many?
You can set many up.
Okay.
You can set many up, and again, it has there's a time frame that you can put on it as well. I'm going to show you guys. So you can say, I'm going to keep this classroom open for a week. I'm going to keep this one open for a month. So you can actually change it, okay? There's also a transcript too that you can go back and see all the comments once the classroom is closed. Okay?
You can choose if only the person asking the question is receiving the answer, or the whole, you can set the rules for the...
Yeah, so there is a way that you can set the rules for that, and then you can also erase the questions as well. So there are some settings that you can go in and then do that.
Because sometimes a student asks a question that some other student will have, I don't know how to...
Exactly, exactly. So yep, you can do that, yes.
Is it a free account?
It's a free account. Everything that I show you is free.
Okay.
It's free.
Yeah.
I need to be
recording
on,
purposes.
oh, I need to be on this side.
Sorry.
Not following the rules, sorry. All right. All right, so this is what it looks like. I think you guys may have seen it again, like I said yesterday. Now, I'd like for you to put your laptops up. And on your Facebook page, there's a link, I think with my name. Okay, everybody's attention back up front.
Very excited,
I know, I'm excited that you're excited. And you know, guys, remember as you go through this experience as students, this is what you're going to get, right? Remember the laptops were down, now they're up, and now the noise level went up a little bit. And now you got to get the students' attention back, right? Because now you want to get started with your instruction again. So those are, again, things to be thinking about in terms of this lab rotation and some strategies and for transition. Okay, it may be some signal that you give the students, some sound, but really be thinking about that. Okay? All right, so everybody's here. So let me tell you, I set this up so that there's no sign-in required. So anybody can get in. Okay, so your students don't have to have a sign-in. All you have to do is set up your classroom, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But here's an example of how, okay, those of you that are already in today's meet, go ahead and put your nickname in and put join. Click join. Now for your students, you probably want them to either, and again, depending on your objective, you may want them to put their first name, or if you want it to be a little bit more anonymous, you may give them one name or one nickname to put in all across. Okay, so you can ask them to put in their real names, or you can ask them to put in a nickname, but then you wouldn't know who they were, which is fine too. Or if you want to see, you don't want it to be totally anonymous, you can say everybody put in classroom 2 or whatever, right? As you're in today's meet, because I'm going to pull it up live here in a second, but here are a couple of questions. And again, this is just one way of using today's meet. You could have been using it, like the students could use it as I'm actually speaking and they're asking questions. You could do it that way. However, this way, there are a couple of questions for the class that I want to get some feedback on. So the first question, and we're just going to answer the one question at a time, right? So the first question, I'm sorry you can't really see it, but I'll read it. It's referring to your blended learning classroom. So here's the question. Can you guys hear me? It sounds like it went off. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So here's the question. If you had absolutely no obstacles, so get those out of your mind, and knew everything you needed to know about technology, what would your blended learning classroom look like? So remember, you know everything you need to know about technology and there are no obstacles. What would your blended learning classroom look like? Okay? In today's meet, I want you to go ahead and start to join the conversation. Yep. So once you type your comment, click save. I'm going to read what I can read here. So your blended learning classroom would be perfect. It would be, my classroom would be organized in a horseshoe shape where open dialogue, looking at each other's faces can take place. I might need some translations for some of the others.
I want stars.
Stars?
Yes.
I want stars. All right.
Stars.
In the classroom.
Yes.
And what is this right here to comb your hair? What's the comment about comb your hair? Comb your hair. It says something about comb your hair. Comb your hair. What does that mean?
She didn't comb her hair.
Oh. My classroom tables would be organized in a horseshoe. Okay, we got that one. I just want this to work. Super something Wi-Fi.
Supersonic Wi-Fi.
Supersonic Wi-Fi. That's a song, you guys. Did you know that? That would make blended learning. I can't read that word. Easy. Okay, great.
Did you do the Spanish?
No, some of them I get it.
Mi salón sería muy entusiasta.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, there would be a lot of
Enthusiasm. Yeah, I can see some of them. Like I can, yeah, some of them. Yeah. Great. So again, this is just a tool that you guys can use as a way, and you'll start to see all this pop up, right? And underneath, you can't see this, but underneath I see all of your nicknames here.
Yes.
Can you guys see that? You can see everybody. Oh, okay. You can. I was gonna say I don't know if you can see it up here, but so you can see everybody's nickname.
How can you envision using this in your class? For what purposes can you think of that you would use this type of tool for your classroom?
Well, there's a lot of back and forth discussion with my group, and it would be, like you said, a nice place to ask questions or present doubts about the discussion for less active students,
Right.
or even those that are active.
Great.
Absolutely.
So to generate ideas and discussions, what else can you do with it? This type of tool. If you're a math teacher, right? How many of you are math teachers? A couple, right? So you want to know if your students are understanding as you're presenting the information. So you can give them a question, they can answer it, right? So you can do assessment as the day goes on. I teach English, and so a lot of times I will use this type of tool. Very quick, you have 2 minutes, write a thesis statement, put it in. The best one wins. And the students are like, because they want to demonstrate their understanding. And I can also see if they are hitting it on a class level, and then I can see individuals where I need to circle back to them to help them out. Right?
Great. All right. So now I heard the question before we got here was, how do I set up a classroom? Here we go. Everybody ready? All right. Step by step to create a classroom. You go to todaysmeet.com, which you all have done. You give your classroom a name. You can actually do this now. It's like takes 2 minutes. You give your classroom a name, no spaces.
You have to go to todaysmeet.com.
Yes.
Not backslash perpetual growth blended. because when you're in the Perpetual Goes blended room, you're in our room.
You're in our room. You're in my classroom.
So you have to go to todaysmeet.com.
And I'd like for you guys to actually try it, just because I want you to see. I want you to try it right now, okay? So just go to like your, go to todaysmeet.com, like in your Google site. Just open up a new tab. Yeah, don't go on your Facebook page. Open up a new tab and go to todaysmeet.com. Let me get everybody's attention just for a second. When you get in todaysmeet.com, you want to give your classroom a name. Okay, so whatever name you choose. And then right under that it says something like how long do you want to keep it open?
Keep that room open.
So keep that room open for like in a case where you would use it in your classroom, it may be for 2 weeks. It could be a month, it can be a couple of hours, whatever works for your objective and your goal.
And actually, we'll talk about creating a positive class culture and during the classroom management session that we're doing Friday. But an easy way to get students engaged in this is have them come up with a cool name.
Yes.
Right? Give them that kind of ownership of like, what do you want our classroom space to be named that will really like speak to what we're learning.
And again, it's really easy to have your students join. They do not need to have an account. All you're going to need is the URL once you name your classroom, and it's going to say Today's Meet, just like it said Today's Meet Perpetual Goes Blended. Yours will say Today's Meet, whatever your classroom name is. And you will just give that URL to your students, and they can join just like that. Okay?
Where do you say join?
You can open up a classroom for each of your classes.
Open your room.
Yep. And then you'll see the next tab that says open your room. So when you open it, you'll be able to, if you had students, yep, same screen that you were just looking at, it's the exact same screen. Okay? After you set it up, it should say open your room.
Nickname.
You already opened it then. So you don't see anything because you don't have any students adding anything. So if you gave that URL to a friend, they can start adding comments in there in your room. Okay? So if you gave that URL to someone, they can start adding, and then you will see it pop up.
How do they connect to this page?
So that means
Open the page and we create the page at today's meeting. How do they go into the page?
so there's a URL at the very top. It says
They have to do
today's.
the same thing?
You will have to give them what it says for your classroom. Say if your classroom was named Miss Sally's classroom. It'll say Today's Meet Miss Sally's classroom. Okay? Okay? All right, so how was that for everybody? Is this a tool that you think you could use in the classroom? Yes, kind of? Okay. I would definitely encourage you all to play around with it. And once you create your classroom, have a friend, give them your URL, and then, kind of watch it pop up. There are some other cool tools in there as well. You'll see that you can get a transcript. Again, just play around, you'll start to see all these functions. And so once you have your students start to make their comments and you close that classroom, you can click for the transcript, which means you'll be able to keep all the comments. You'll have all the comments in like one report. Okay? It's like a file. Yep. So it should say in your, I think it might be in settings. I don't have it up right now. In tool, let me see.
Where should we go?
Is it room tools? Yeah, let me see. It might be there. Yeah, so under room tools, at the bottom. Okay, one last thing and we're going to move on, guys, because I have one more tool I want to show you.
Here.
So at the bottom, you'll see it says room tools and it says transcript. Okay, if you had students' comments there, you would be able to print a transcript, which is a report of all the comments that your students made so you can keep them.
And the transcript comes out with the names.
Yeah, it'll come out with all of the comments with the names and nicknames or whatever, however they put their names in.
Today, that's one.
Wherever, yep, wherever you print to. Yes, yep. I'm not sure if it'll save in PDF, but you might play around with it. There may be a way to do that. Yeah. if you want to copy that, that's another link that you can copy.
If you're getting a message that the name is taken for your room,
No.
that just means somebody else has that room name. So just add a number
For your
or add
students?
an ETS
Oh,
or
sure.
something that will
Absolutely. And just give them like, their nickname is number 1, number 2, or whatever. Absolutely. So there was a question up front. Can I get everybody's attention for a second, please? Yes. Thank you. There was a question up front about if can I assign my students a number so that I know how to identify them. And absolutely. You can give them a name that you like for them to put in so only you know who they are. Or, you know, depending on, again, what your goal is, they can actually put their own name in or their own nickname in. Okay, so I would, like I said, just play around. It's a very flexible tool. You can always close classrooms and open up new classrooms, as many as you want. Play around with some of the other tools, like we were talking about the transcript. And again, just maybe even create classrooms and give them to a couple of friends so you can then see the comments come up and then print a transcript. So just play around with it, okay?
So the same tools that you use, let me try something. Hear my voice, clap once. Hear my voice, clap twice. See, we do this all the time, kindergarten classes, first grade classes, or you sing something out and they say something in return. When you're working with students with technology, an audible cue is very helpful. With our older students, we use 2. The funny teachers like eyeball. They say eyeball, and the students say snap, and they have to make their eyeballs snap to the front of the room, and then they say it. So we say eyeball, and the students say snap, and they have to do it right away. And then another one that we use is one mic, like a microphone. We say one mic, and they say give respect. And then when everybody says it, the eyes are up, and the computers are not the focus. So thinking about what cues you can use to regain the full focus is important. We'll talk more about that on Friday.
Yeah, those things are really, really going to be important. You see how we've had a little bit of a challenge here? Everybody wants to talk when everything is up. So this is exactly what you're going to experience. All right? So now, I want to challenge you one more time. Laptops down. Laptops down. So that we're rotating back to the direct instruction, okay? So there are instances where you guys will want to kind of do an assessment of your direct instruction or something a lesson that you taught maybe last week or yesterday. And so there are tools out here that you guys can use that are free and fun for the kids. And so there's what we call a game-based. Has anybody ever heard of Kahoot? No? Okay. I think you're gonna really like this. The kids always love this. So there are, like I said, you may have a lesson, and then you want to assess, like, are they getting this? Like, did I actually convey it right? And so you can create questions that are like a quiz for whatever lesson that you've just taught or one that you're going to be teaching, just to kind of do a pre-assessment. So there's this tool called Kahoot, and I'm gonna allow you guys to get it. First, I'm gonna give you a quiz with it, and then so you can actually play with it, and then I'm gonna show you how to get yourself set up on it. Okay. So the first thing here, let me see. Yeah, okay. So here's the deal. I just want to give you kind of a quick thing here. So Kahoot allows you to connect in real time, to create, like I said, a real social experience from the students. It's fun, and they have no idea that they're being assessed, okay? So you are the ones that are really kind of like, oh, this person gets it, this one doesn't, all right? It is, and like I said, it's game-based, and it's a real quick way to see if students are really grasping the information. So I have set up for you all a quiz. Now, you can either use your laptops or you can use your phone. How many people have devices in your phones? Yeah? So you can use either one to get on this. I'm going to go out and get it, and then I'm going to tell you exactly how to get on. Everything closed up.
My understanding is in the younger grades, the devices a lot of times will be tablets, right? Yeah. So for sometimes with younger students, it's hard to tell them, go to the website. So one very helpful tool is to create a QR code, which is the little square thingy that looks, we can show you an example for sure for Friday, where they can pull the QR reader up on for the tablet onto the board, and then it will just go to the site. So we can also show you how to do that, because for older students, it's fine for you to say todaysmeet.com/Tiffany's class. But for the little ones, they like it.
Right. So all you want to do is go to Kahoot.it. Yes, you can open it. Kahoot.it. So KAHOOT.it. IT, sorry.
And then that's the pin, right?
Yeah.
¿Te fue completa? ¿Te apagó? A mí también. No.
So when you get this on your phone or your machine, you're gonna put this code
Yep.
in the game pin. So it's 631096.
Wait a second.
631. I don't know how you say zero.
Cero. 96. All right, so is everybody on Kahoot.it? Either on your phone, it's real easy to get on your phone or your laptop. Okay, anybody not on Kahoot.it yet? Okay, two more seconds. Kahoot.it. And your game pin is 631096.
Taking a long time to game pin.
Game pin, that's that number there.
Ahora.
Say it loud.
Game pin. Nickname. I have to.
Nope. It'll change for you. Yep.
Nickname, we have to vary nickname.
No. You should just have Kahoot.it and put your pin in and you're good.
It will open play.
It'll open in a minute. So once you have your pin in, you just wait. So everybody should, if you're already in Kahoot.it, put your pin number in and just wait.
And you put your nickname, but it's going to appear up here. So if you don't want people to know.
No. We want people to know. Don't listen to Tiffany. So as you're putting your nickname in, it's popping up. Okay? So this is what you're gonna see. As your nickname is coming up. Now, okay, one second, guys. Let me have your attention for a second here. Yeah, so okay, so we only have a couple of minutes and I want you guys to get through this and I want to show you how to set this up. So let me tell you, if you have a room of 10 students, for an example, if you have a room of 10 students and you are playing this game, their names are going to pop up. If you only see 5, that means 5 aren't in there yet. Okay, so you're going to see them pop up. So it looks like we have, not everybody, but most people are in. I'm going to go ahead and start playing, so I want everybody to, I'm going to tell you real quick what's getting ready to happen. I'm going to push play. There are going to be 3 questions, 1 question at a time. You're going to have to look at your screen, so when you answer, is everybody listening? It's a timed quiz. It's a timed quiz. So it's going to give you only 30 seconds to respond. And you know what I did? I'm going to tell you, there's one answer I'm not going to give you the answer, but so I'm just going to back up and just listen to this, and it's kind of off the record, but you'll understand why I say this. In today's meet, I'm going to give you a resource sheet that shows you over 20 ways to use today's meet. That's all I'm going to say. Now we're getting ready to play the game. All right. So when I push the play button, you're going to have 30 seconds. You will be able to set this for as long as you want, like a minute. For your students, 20 seconds, as short or as long as you want. And then to answer the questions, you're going to see symbols, triangles, circles, what have you. That's how you're going to respond. When you see the answers, you got to click one of those. Okay? All right. Everybody ready?
Yes. Get ready.
Get ready. Here we go. Question number 1. I can use today's meet in at least how many ways? Blank. So here are the answers. 5. There's a triangle. That's the one you would push if it's 5. Where's the other stuff? 20. It does. Can you select any of the other ones? Is it coming up?
We can see.
Oh, you can see it? Okay, yeah. So 20, 15, or 1. 5 seconds. 18 answers in, 19 answers. Time's up. So.
That's what you're going to hear when the answer goes up in your classroom. Yes!
So 9 people got it right. All right. Woo! All right. All right, next question. Everybody ready for the next one? So, oh, I'm sorry, it shows a scoreboard. Who's Madamar? You're first. You're in first place. All right? Oh, I didn't even look at the numbers.
We're all in first place.
Everybody's in Madamar, Maria, Mickey, Maggie, and Tiff, all in first place. All right, let's keep going. Next question. Lab rotation at perpetual means do whatever you want and then rotate to keep moving around the room. Teacher-led instruction with in-class online instruction. Pick up the lab and move with it. "12 seconds. 1 second. 16. Yeah. All right, let's see who's in place. Maria, you are in first place. Maria, where are you? Marie. Sorry, Marie. Who's Marie? Oh, you're. All right. Last question. Okay, this is for winner takes all here. Here we go. Last question. Lab rotation is a way to use computers, a room down the hall, time to rest, a blended learning model.
Yes.
24 answers. That was quick. Everybody's going to get it right. All right. 3 seconds. Everybody in? Oh, 26. Okay. All right. Everybody got it right. Woo! 100%. Great job. So this is a really great example. Hello? So this is a really great example of so you're creating the questions. Okay? So you can create the questions based on a lesson that you did yesterday that you want to assess or a pre-assessment of a lesson that's coming up. And you can see if they understand the question, you don't even have to review that. You'll know what you need to review based on. Yes, so there are reports in Kahoot as well. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you that, but you can, when you play around in it, there are reports that you can print and it'll show you the assessment of how the students did. So, go back. So it's really, really easy to set up, and I'm going to tell you what to go to. I want to make sure I give you the right one. Hang on. Let me let her get this real quick. Oh, the winner. Here's the winner. I'm going to shift Tiff. Maria, you end up being the winner. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. So here's real quick, guys. At the bottom it says feedback and results. You can click there. That's where your assessment is going to come up. All right? Now, right here, let me see. To create your Kahoot, you just want to go to getkahoot.com. And you can put the HTTPS if you want, but usually you can just get to getkahoot.com. Really easy. When you go in there, it's self-explanatory. You can set it up. You can create your questions, like I said. Any questions, you can just determine how long you want to give the students to answer, and that's it.
Do they answer on their own screen?
They answer on they can use their phones. They can use their laptops, and all they have to do is go to like you did Kahoot it with the PIN number, because the PIN number is going to show up once you create your Kahoot.
Okay, you don't have to assign it.
Nope, you don't have to assign any numbers. It'll come up right away. All right. Thank you all. Any questions? How was that for everybody? Did everybody like that? Great. All right. 2 tools that you can use, very flexible, and they're both free. Okay? Thank you.